Thank you, Lina, and good afternoon, everyone. So in the next 10 minutes, I will speak about Internet of Things. You might find several references to the already presented speakers and their presentations because everything is related to Internet of Things. That's what I believe in. So what I do is in the next few minutes, I talk about a broad overview of IoT and how it is impacting the industry, the way it works. And of course, I would focus on how it is impacting the way we live. So to start with, you can see several definitions of IoT over internet, but here I've picked a couple of things. If you see the first definition, it talks about physical objects. The physical objects can be anything. It can be machines, sensors, or mobile devices, whatever you name it. And those are getting connected to virtual functional system and via a global communication infrastructure. The infrastructure can be internet or the cloud or whatever you name it. So what I would like to highlight is these three things instead of all the definition. You can see the physical objects getting connected via a global communication infrastructure. That means if you, for taking an example, if you go to any supermarket, if you buy some product, and as soon as you go to the billing system, they will put the RFID, and the details of that particular product you can see on their system. That means that particular product, whether it is a shampoo or a soap, the details are already there. The product is getting connected. It's not just about the cars or anything. It's even the shampoo bottles, whatever you purchase, or whatever the items you purchase in a supermarket are connected already. That's what it means. And in the second definition, if you see, it talks a lot about the connection. That means once the things are getting connected, how you are using the data which is being gathered through that, like the intelligence. Let's assume, take the same example. Let's, in the supermarket, they sell some 100 products. So that information or that intelligence they can use, they can run some analytics, and they can analyze their sales and present them globally to their head offices or whatever. So there are two things here. One is the connection of things, and the next thing is utilizing the data which you have gathered. So what consists of Internet of Things? Internet of Things is not just about the mobile phones or the machines or the devices. It's a lot more than that. It's about the houses, which are getting connected more and more. And of course, our vehicles are getting connected in the future, or even now. Our cars are connected. And of course, if you see the houses, everyone is having television sets nowadays. So everyone is using some dish televisions or whatever. So every day or once in every week, you will get some messages, right? You have to pay this much amount, this much bill is pending, or you have subscribed to these many channels. So that means your television set is connected. Yes, you are getting the information from your service provider directly to your television. So I'm just giving an example. So like that, even our fridges are connected, our home appliances are connected. So nothing is left. Everything is connected, and of course, people are also part of that. So how it all started, and if you look at the numbers, we have already some 10 to 12 billion connected devices by 2012, as per some estimates. And of course, as per the same estimates, this number will explode to 50 billion devices. That means when I said devices, it's not just, again, the mobile phones or the laptops or anything. It means all the items which you purchase or whatever you wear, anything, all these things. And the next important point is what driving this is the inexpensive platforms or the devices. For example, nowadays everyone has some, can put some embedded inexpensive mobile chip in any product, and they can get the data through internet or any other devices. And they can see the information on their mobile phones with a very inexpensive cost. That's what is going to happen. And going by the automotive example, many auto companies nowadays are trying to replace the dashboards with smart tablets. And that means what actually happens is, just imagine if your dashboard is being replaced by, say, smart tablet. You know, what it does to you as a customer, and of course, what it does to the auto company. They can directly see how your vehicle is performing, and they can take the updates directly from there instead of asking you or calling you. And they can send you SMS or whatever the way that you have to change your engine or whatever, you have to change your tires periodic. They can give you better service to increase the performance of the vehicle. That's what I want to say. And of course, I don't want to finish this slide without mentioning the NASA's success last year. You might have heard already the rover Curiosity, which was sent to Mars in 2012. It can send some 32 kilobytes of data every second per second to NASA station directly in US. So what the point I want to make here is, it's not about the data or the size of the data. So things are getting connected not only here, you are getting things connected over other planets also. So that also is possible with this IoT. And of course, this is the same information, but from a different point of view. If you look at that, the world population against the number of devices, as of now, we are somewhere between some 3 to 4 devices per every person existing on Earth. And by 2020, it can be somewhere between 5 to 6 devices. And just to mind you, how many people are using internet is, if you take only those number of people, it will get to some 12 or something number of devices for those against those who are using internet. So having talked about very broad things of Internet of Things and IoT, where exactly you use IoT? And name anything, there is some uses of IoT here, whether it is the transportation systems or their houses or even the communities, wherever you name it. I've already gave some example about our house appliances and all. Even in governance also you're using it, because in India everyone knows that you are having some Aadhaar cards. Without that, people are not getting the gas connections also. That means you have to be connected if you want something from the government. So it's going to be happen in a much larger way in the future also. So unless you are connected, you can't get anything. So having talked about the general applications of IoT, let's talk about IoT for industry. What actually consists of IoT, the components in IoT for industry? So the first two things talks about the low-cost sensors, and of course, the low-cost and intelligent sensors and machines. That's the first thing. That means the machines and devices, the cost is getting lower. At the same time, they're getting more intelligent. That is first thing. And the second thing is the internet. Internet is everywhere. It's ubiquitous nowadays. Wherever you go, it's there. So that means the access to information or the control is also there. That is the second thing, or the component. And the third thing is, and of course, the cloud is also one of the infrastructure that is also there. And the third thing is, after getting devices for less cost, and of course, after getting the infrastructure, what you will do with the data. We have the systems in place like the analytics and all. My colleague already spoken about analytics. So how we use the data is the next big task. So all these components comprises of the industrial IoT. Just to give an example, again, in what way it actually impacts the industry. So to start with, it actually lowers the cost of connectivity, connecting the plants on a whole. That's the first big thing. And the next one is how it actually connects the devices and uses the data in an intelligent way. That's the next big thing it may going to impact. So this is all about how the evolution of industrial internet, many people know. You can see the horizontal as well as the vertical thing. The first thing is the, in 1980s, it's the Ethernet, how used to get information through Ethernet, and of course, going forward in 90s and 2000s, how you use the same Ethernet to control the devices and of course, to connect various devices. In the same way, since 2000s, you can see how we have used the wireless systems to do the same thing, like getting information or getting connected to devices. So talking broadly, the framework of industrial IoT, on one side, you have the physical things, physical devices. It's not just the physical devices. We have the software things also, like the MES or the PLM or whatever you name it, the ERPs and SCM systems. So one side, you have those softwares and hardware, industrial hardware. And of course, we have the communication systems in place, like the internet or the Wi-Fi's or whatever the systems, including the cloud and all. So we have a communication infrastructure in between. And finally, you can see the mobile devices where actually you can see the information, where through which actually you can control the devices. So these three things broadly designs the framework of industrial IoT. So what actually catalyzes, from technology point of view, what actually catalyzes this IoT in industry? If you see, again, the same thing, the cost is getting lower and lower. You're getting the same intelligent sensors for lower costs. In fact, they are more intelligent than earlier things. And as I said, the internet is ubiquitous. You are getting more wireless. You are getting, you're moved from Ethernet to wireless, and also the connectivity is there everywhere. That's the second thing, which is going to catalyze the growth of IoT. And the powerful analytics, the analytics is not just run on the historical data, but you have the predictive analytics also, which may stop your plant from getting a run stopover or something. So it will help you in predicting your plant assets and all. That's the third thing. And the last thing is, these smart machines or the intelligent devices or whatever you name it, they can publish the data, not only that, but they will give an access to control them from remote locations. Sitting here, you all people are here from the last 2 days, but still you are connected to your offices. You know what exactly happening at your office. That means you can access the information, and of course you can access whatever, you can see what's going on there through whatever the devices you're using. So having said all those good things, and of course there are a few challenges for IoT, the first biggest thing is the security. I don't go in deep because we have a presentation by STQC. They may talk a lot about it in the next presentation. So security, I just want to touch one point. In the last month also, you have seen in US what is the data theft happened. It's very big. Because when these many 10 to 12 billion things are connected, we are completely lost. Where is our information, or where is the privacy? You're completely lost. So security and privacy is going to be a biggest issue. And the next thing is the control of data. Yesterday, Ramansan presented, we have some trillions and trillions of gigabytes or whatever you name it, so are there already existing for the last 5 years or the 7 years. So having that kind of big data, what we actually do, what data you have to, what kind of information you have to take from that big data, it's going to be another biggest challenge for the industry. And the third thing is the architectural issues. Because with this growth of devices and the data, the internet scalability becomes an issue, which is already mentioned by several speakers. And above all this, these are technical ones, but the fourth thing may not be technical, but how adaptive the industry can be. Because every day you can see some new device or some new technology coming into picture. So unless you are adaptive, you cannot go with the world or pick the pace. That's what. So the last slide here, I'd like to mention how it's going to be, IoT hereafter. It's going to be disruptive, amazingly disruptive. And of course, I already mentioned the domotics and all, how every home appliance is getting connected and how it is impacting the daily life, the traffic monitoring you can do through GPRS or whatever. So it's going to impact that way as well. And yes, it's going to be unpredictable developments in future. So this is going to be the future of internet and Internet of Things. With that, I would finish my presentation. Thank you very much.